Right, hello and welcome back to IRS and welcome back to Tier 2. We are live for round 3 in Australia, and I've just seen that Outlaws put in the chat that apparently it's going to be a wet race. No one's out on the track yet, so we can't see the clouds. I think there's actually someone leaving the track now. Who's that? Oh, there's like an Alpine, and that is Tino Tiberian. It's a bit dark out there, so maybe some rain in qualifying possibly as well. Burb, unfortunately, is not able to join the session at the moment. We'll send him another invite, hopefully he can get his game to work. But he's won the first 2 races of the season. Trying to make it 3 today, he can join the lobby. Can anyone stop him? It'll be a bit easy if he doesn't join, but... Star Defender, his teammate, back in today in the Williams. First race for him in season 12. We've got Epi reserving in the Ferrari. Finnish driver, along with Sick Pig and Tino Tiberian. So 3 Finnish drivers now in the Tier 2. Tony is on his 3rd account, I think, in 3 races. I'm sure he's been on 3 different accounts for each race so far. So there's another one, but we'll just go with Tony. Because he's been Tony, TH, and then Tony again. Alright, let's go on board with the first driver. Across the line to start a flying lap, which will be Tino Tiberian heading down towards turn 1. Let's see what gear he goes through. It'll be gear 4, gear 5. Quickest through here is gear 5, and he takes it. Cuts a bit of the grass, bit of lawn mowing, but good enough. A couple of first corners there for Tino Tiberian. Down into the hard braking right. Get the speed through the section. We're heading towards the sector 1 checkpoint, and the wrong DRS zone. So 26 flat, gear 6 through there, straight onto the ERS. I've used quite a bit of it up early here. Bit surprising, already out of ERS. Used a bit too much in that first sector, but this second sector is really where you want to have the ERS for that long straight, this one here, and towards the finish line. It's the first lap though, so we see no rain. The track can get warmer, better temperature, put these soft tyres to perform. We've got yellow flags on there. I think that's someone coming slowly out of the pits, possibly Wild Jago. Tino Tiberian though, across the line for the first flying lap. That's a 15.6. Next up is going to be Outlaw Kakameste with a 17.5. That's quite a way off the pace there. James Parker, 17.9. Epi in the Ferrari, 17.1. I'm not sure how much of a joke this is, or if it's actually true, but Sick Pig in my DM telling me that Epi is quite the old man, almost 60 years old. Told me to mention that on stream, so there's a little possible joke or truth between the Finnish drivers there. If he is, fair play. There's no age when it comes to driving, unless you're a proper OAP. But Tony puts in a 16.5, P3, Sick Pig, making it a Finnish 1-2 at the moment with a 16.4. Burb still not in the session. Gonna shoot him another invite, see what happens there. Can't see anything in the tier 3 chat about that. Lone Wolf, couple attempts off his teammate in P6. Magmatic Rave in the kick. His teammate Pepperstreak, unfortunately not here today. Well, I think this is the 3rd race where Kick only have 1 driver in terms of full-time driver. DMS Racing, Wild Jago. That's why Just Vicky still in the pits. Star Defender saying he's a bit washed in the tier 2 chat. Let's see how he's getting on for his first flying lap in season 12. on previous games has definitely been a contender for race wins and pole positions. How about F1 25? So he still have the pace to keep up with the top boys. P5 at the moment, 17.2. Is it possible sandbagging, or is he really not up to speed with this game as Wild Jaeger pops in at P4 with a 17.0 for the Haas. Teammate now joining the track as Magmatic Wave is at 18.9. P10. IRS LB44. First race for him this season as well. Very good to see him back in the Ferrari. Let's see what he can do once he comes out on track. Teammate currently P5 for today, reserving, as IRS LB44 actually does come out on track. There he is, leaving the Ferrari pit box. Just picky. Is he going to drive it on a lap right now? While Jaeger currently not on a lap. Star Defender. Not sure what Aldo's doing. He's got no fuel. Oh, he's evaluated somewhere. Might be in turn 1. So let's go on board with Just Picky. He's coming through the final sector, ready to start a flying lap. I think Magmatic Wave actually going for another lap now. So yeah, let's see what the Italian driver Just Picky and now Tier 1 commentator can do. In the Haas, got his teammate back for today. They were very confident before the season started. I wonder how they're feeling now, 3 rounds in. So Tino Tiberian was a 26.0 into sector 1. I was Just Picky getting on 26.3. Purple middle first sector there, which is his best. A lot of people get that confused with personal best on the track. So we saw Tino Tiberian do a 26 flat, which is the overall best sector 1 time, but we saw Just Picky's there because he's only on 1 lap so far, which is this one right now. So every sector he's going to be setting will be purple for him. He's looking pretty decent. Only 14% battery, which is going to go down to 20 for the final straight. Out the final corner he comes, down towards the line. It's going to be a 16.312, just ahead of Sick Pig, so separating the 2 Alpines as we go on board with one of them. Sick Pig just coasting through his teammate Tino Tiberian there, and not in the corner, who had a bit of a moment. Sick Pig up to the line was a 15.8, puts the Alpines back to 1 and 2. Effie in the Ferrari 3 tenths up into sector 1. This is a good track for slipstream. I've not seen much teamwork this season with the slipstream. I know it's not as strong as previous games, but it'll still give you a bit of an advantage as we watch Effie improving each sector time here. Currently P6, looking to get into the top 5, possibly top 3. Don't think this is quick enough for pole position at the moment, but still on a very good lap. It's going to be a 16.4 and jumps up to P4 there. Oh, we've got Tony starting a lap. And who is that? That's DMS Racing. That was DMS Racing. Possibly impeding there. So Tony might actually back off there. Berber's finally managed to get him. Missed his message actually, which was a minute ago, but he's in the session. We're on board with Tony. His sector 1 was compromised by a bit of impeding, but he's near enough matching his time still, so We know Tony's got time to improve. How's he going to get on into this final sector? Can he find some time to get himself above Epi or just Picky? 7 minutes to go of this session. Oh, we watched Tony cross the line, but apparently jumps up to P3, but Burb and Star Defender are not in the session. There's Star Defender. I think Burb joined, so there's someone anyway. There he is. We've got 6 minutes to get that in. Wild Jager, how's he get on? Currently P6, stays P6, improves though. We've got Kentrum in the McLaren, 45.4, sector 2. Kentrum had 2 decent enough results for the first 2 races. Just had a bit of a moment there. And he qualified strong here today. Given a good chance of scoring some good points. 15 drivers, 15 point positions up for grabs. Kentrum on 19.1 then. Tony straight back into the pits. While Jake was on a slow lap, who was that flying through in the kick? That was Magmatic Wave. He was 3.5 tenths up. IRS LB44, P10 in that Ferrari at 17.6 as he ducks out the way of Wild Jager, who's on a final lap. We'll go back to Magmatic Wave, who looks to be improving here. Currently a second away from James Parker in P12. An 18.4, 5 tenths improvement. Not bad. We'll wait for Bird to come out, see what sort of time he can do. Tino Tiberium, front pole sitter, leading the way with a 15.6. Had a bit of a moment here a couple of minutes ago on a previous lap. He's going to be diving into the pits, he's not improving. Sick pig. He's on a decent lap. How's Outlaw getting on? He's been coming into the final corner right now, draining that battery, heading towards the line. Hasn't improved. IRS 44 into the pits. Sick pigs, 2 tenths up. Coming into the first sector, and we jump back on board with the Alpine, heading through the DRS zone. Just sticking with DRS down this straight. No ERS involved. Besides the second DRS zone. Can he knock his teammate off pole position? Down to gear 3. Gonna stay with gear 3 up into 4, out of the final corner. DRS and ERS switched on. Run up to the line, it's gonna be a 15.6. and 10,000ths of a second ahead of his teammate to snatch pole position here with 3.5 minutes to go of the session. A Star Defender in the Williams, 17.2, 4.5 tenths up in the sector 1. Coming up to the sector 2 checkpoint before we switch left and right. Lost a bit of time. Goes a bit wide, it's in the validation. He's struggling at the moment. We've got Burb out on track. Burb's been pretty fast around Australia in the past, I'm pretty sure. It's 26.3 for his opening lap in sector 1 there. So, not too far off the top 2. He's around Tony and just Picky at the moment. We'll check his sector 2 time to 43.7. Surely he's put 2 laps of fuel in here, or 3 laps of fuel, sorry, because he's not going to have enough time to dive into the pits and do another lap, I think. He might do now that he's just messed that one up. He's going to go for it. He's going to have a minute to get into the pits, get back out, get back onto the track, and then get around with that 1 minute 16 benchmark. Might just have enough time. A lot of drivers now out on track, preparing for the last lap. Who have we got coming into the final corner? That is Lone Wolf. Here we go then with Lone Wolf. Currently P11 at 17.8, which is not a bad time for Tier 2. It's a bit of a mixture here in Tier 2. You've got some quite rapid drivers, and you've got a midfield battle. As you look from 7th position down to 12th, 27 tenths, which can change very quickly, as Lone Wolf's having a big moment there, and that's wing damage, and that is the end of this qualifying. He's not going to be able to improve. Next up, who have we got on a flying lap? Magmatic Waves on the out lap. Tino Tiberian coming through sector 1. We'll stay on board with this one, as everyone's lining up in sector 3 there, as you can see in the mini map on the right hand side, queuing up to start their flying laps. Tino Tiberian does a 25.949, improves on that personal best sector 1 time. He's draining that battery. Oh, that was super close with the kick there, Magmatic Wave. Magmatic Wave actually had to put out the way and still got a 5-place grid penalty for that. That was more Tino's fault there. Magmatic Wave was driving quite slowly, letting him go by. And Tino sort of drove into him, trying to take the race in line. And he had a lot of space on the outside, but here we go with him into the final corner. Is he improving enough to take away that pole position from Sick Pig? All he needs is 10 thousandths per second. Has he got enough battery to get to the line? Yes, he does. No, he doesn't. It's a 6.41, 8 thousandths of a second behind his best. Sick Pig is going to be very close to getting a lap in here. He's not going to get that. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, he's just got that. Just Picky's crashed out of the session. Tino Tiberian is done. Tony's done. So Sick Pig looking very good here. Only person with Burbs finished as well on P15. Here comes Epi in the Ferrari. What sort of time is he doing? So 16.2 P4. Stars Defender's done. Jace Parker's done. Wild Jager's done. IRS W44 crosses the line in P9. What's Outlaw doing? And Magmatic Wave. The last 2 drivers. Bit of an anti-climax there in that final stage of qualifying. Pressure getting to a few drivers as we watch Outlaw finish his time with a 16.9, jumps up to P8. Magmatic Wave was about 3.5 tenths up. He's going to need a bit more than that to try to get himself anywhere near the top 10. Here we come then. Last driver to finish us off. It's a 17.9. Nice improvement. I think he went up a position there actually. Doesn't matter anyway, he's going to be a last position because of that grid penalty. There's the confirmation of a finish front row. 10 thousandths per second between Sick Pig and Tino Tiberian. Tony just behind. Epi on his debut, P4 qualifying. Burb down there in P15, championship leader. He's got a lot of work to do here. Sick Pig and Tony could gain some points here on Burb today. I'll be back in about 30 seconds as we wait for them to choose their strategies and pick their tyres. Alright, I said about choosing tyres, I completely forgot that Outlaw said in the Discord chat that it's going to be a wet race. He's done a P8 and he's a maestro in the rain, so we could see some good work from him, and we could see some good work from Burb down the bottom. Top 4, not really too sure how they are in the wet weather. Just picky, decent enough. I think Star Defender loves a bit of rain. IRS LB44, he'll enjoy some rain. But what I've just noticed is Just Picky, for some reason, is the only driver out there on intermediate tyres. Which is a very bold strategy. We've seen 3 drivers here be disqualified from the formation lap as well. DMS Racing, Lone Wolf and Wild Jake. I'm not sure what's gone on there. But yeah, it's a very interesting tactic here from Just Picky. Possibly the rain will be easing up during the race and they might be switching over to Inter, but right now, looking at that track and the amount of spray coming off the cars, that is for sure wet weather tyre. I think the other 14 drivers would agree with me, but Just Picky going for an alternative strategy, going for something different. If it pays off to him, we can say that everyone else was wrong. As we come out of the final corner, ready to line up. I love how everyone always avoids the drivers on the grids when they're ghosted. But 2 Alpines, ready to go. Oh, look at this. Are you taking the mic? Is this the camera angle we get with a load of spray from the cars? Wicked. Gonna have to go on board with this one, I think, as we wait for the red lights to come on here at Melbourne. And it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. And away we go at Albert Park. And Sick Pig has had a bit of a bad start there compared to his teammate, and the Aston Martin and Tony also having a little look between the 2 Alpines, not quite close enough for a move. In the background, we've seen a Haas run wide of Just Picky on those Inters, already losing positions and struggling to get temperature, and there's a crash there with IRS LB44 as well, coming together with Just Picky, who's just made the wrong call here completely. IRS LB44 having a massive lunge on Kentron there, possibly due to wing damage. But it's a bit of a chaotic start here in Tier 2, as you'd imagine, in the wet weather. I'm sure not many people practice in these conditions, and there's a massive amount of spray, so it's very hard to get your apexes right. Outlaw's already up to P5. No DRS in these conditions, so it's all about ERS play. And Tino Tiberian already draining that battery, rubbing the wall a little bit there as well. As you watch Outlaw sneaking up to the back of Effie, looking for P4. Towards the inside of the Ferrari he goes, looking for a move, not quite close enough, trying to force the Ferrari into a little bit of a move. Tino Tiberian's made a mistake, and that's Tony into the lead of the race. Burb's up to P9. Great start for Burb as well. Threading his way through the field. We'll go back on board with Outlaw, who's all over the back for this Ferrari driver. Surely this is a way through for Outlaw now down the straight. As he applies the battery, gets a much better exit. And we head down towards turn 1, where the Ferrari looks like it's got a better rear wing there. Runs a bit wide, he's onto the grass. They're still side by side. This is great action. Bit of contact. Nothing that's going to harm them both, but Outlaw taking the position. What great racing that was in the wet weather. Let's see if Outlaw can now move up to the top 3. Burb as well, side by side, as we go on board with Lone Wolf, who's just behind this battle here. And there's a bit of contact between James Parker and Burb. Great reactions from Lone Wolf there. to avoid going into the back of the Mercedes. Should have given a bit more space on the exits to Chase Parker, who runs into the wall there. Just picky. Well off it. IRS 44 has been into the pits, which is very unfortunate to see, but I'm pretty sure he can be straight back into this race when it's a safety car. Let's see what Outlaw can do. 2.1 seconds behind the top three now due to that little battle with the Ferrari driver Epi. Has he got enough pace to catch up? Tony is currently a second ahead of Tino Tiberian. Another second back to Sick Pig. New fastest lap from Tino Tiberian. Star Defender in P6, now behind the Ferrari driver. Wild Jaeger, first driver to get a penalty as well. Just Picky has come into the pits and retired from the session. He wasn't waiting for a safety car though. Tony driving very well at the front here. Much more comfortable with Tino Tiberian at the moment. He's going to be under pressure from his teammate in a minute if he's not careful. Outlaw still not able to catch up. Has gapped Epi though. While Jaeger having a little look at Star Defender. Not that close enough for a move there. Sick Pig with a time penalty already. That's 3 seconds to him. As we're on board with Wild Jaeger. Trying to find a way past. Epi was really slow into the braking there, which has bunched up these three drivers. Star Defender not able to find a way through on this lap. Does look the quicker driver at the moment though. Epi is struggling with his final couple of corners, but so was Star Defender there. Probably in a bit of a too low gear. Because now he's under pressure from Wild Jaeger, who seems to have a better exit. Pulls to the inside. Thinks about it, but not quite close enough. We've got Burb in P8. Now into the back of these guys as well. But let's have a look at the leader. Burb's already 10 seconds behind the leaders. Runs a bit wide as well. It's going to cost him a couple of cents. Taking that curve, hits the wall. Now the gun down the back of the field. IRS 44 is actually gaining time. DMS Racing, who's just run wide there and gets a 3-second time penalty as we jump on board with him. Kentrum in P12. Just over a second behind Magmatic Ray, who's up to P11. On P15, he's had a good start. Chase Parker has dropped off Lone Wolf and that chasing pack. Epi's had a good lap here. Just pulled away from Star Defender. He's now more under pressure from Wild Jaeger than he is attacking on that Ferrari. Everyone is starting to lock those rear tyres up. It's a good little race here, to be fair. Oh, Epi's had a big moment. So does Wild Jaeger. Burb's still not able to get by. Pony's put it away massively. Outlaw's in the same sort of position with Sick Pig, but I think Sick Pig just had a little mistake there. Coming out of turn 1. I was hoping we'd see some dry tyres here. But at the moment, this rain's still pouring down. I'm not sure what's going on in the chat. The drivers are in AI talking. I've seen Lone Wolf talking in the Discord chat there. Burb's under Fury's car, so the Star Defender. Yeah, hoping for a safety car. Burb keeps smashing off those walls there. Here comes Wild Jaeger. Runs into the back of star defender there. I think Burb's going to join him, coming through. Burb trying to go for a double overtake there. Just quite too far back. Could he get a better exit out of this corner? No, he can't. Star defender's under pressure from Lone Wolf as well, who's now up the inside. Just lost 3 positions there in 1 sector. So the star defender struggling at the moment. Chase Parker catching up a little bit here. We've got a star defender into the pits already. What's he doing? Is he onto the inters? He is, so just think he literally retired for no reason there. If he's onto inters already, he could have been on for a good strategy if he just stayed a couple more laps. Because let's have a look at what star defender now does on these inters. There's a lot of standing water though, that's the question. We'll see if we can catch up. He's the guinea pig though, for the rest of the pack. You start seeing fastest lap from star defender. Pops on to inters. Helps his teammate out as well, decide what he needs to do. Because he's currently in P7, he's not able to get by on Wild Jager. Dropped back a little bit this lap. Epi's doing a good defensive try in P5. Not letting these guys get by, but Star Defender is catching DMS Racing very quickly here. He looks a lot more comfortable in these intermediate tyres. As we got Burb and Lone Wolf going at it. Lone Wolf looking around the outside of Burb, just turned in a bit too early there for Lone Wolf. Yeah, but Star Defender all over the back of DMS Racing now. He runs wide. Star Defender's going to have a look around the outside. Kentram's into the pits. DMS Racing with a good defensive move into the final corner there. Star Defender going to be held up into this first corner. Yellow flag. Who's that round? Looks like it's Lone Wolf possibly. Chase Park, what's happened to him? Yeah, I think it's definitely intermediate tyres. Star Defender's just, I don't know if there's a tyre difference due to the tyre wear. But surely lap 7, those wets will still be pretty decent. Can't give you a rough idea of how fast Star Defender is because he's being held up by DMS Racing. Should be able to get him now with a better exit. Tony's flying now out front, 3.5 seconds in the lead. Star Defender going for a move up the inside, he's had enough. DMS Racing did turn in a little bit too early there, not gonna lie. Got Burbs into the pits as well, as Lone Wolf, Chase Parker on for the inters. Burb comes out behind his teammate. That was a great move there from Star Defender to not be held up by his teammate. Let's see what the Williams boys can do now. Fresh rubber, different compound. How much faster will they be? A couple attempts to magmatic rave. think Tony's made a little mistake there, because Tino Tiberian has caught up quite a bit. They need to dive into the pits for these inters. Outlaw should be the one that does it, really. If he went onto inters now, that'd be perfect for him. He'd give himself a nice little podium there. 7 seconds behind him is Wild Jager, who finally got past Epi, who's into the pits. Get rid of those wet tyres. Really slowly into the pits there. That's going to cost him a bit of time. Let's see where he comes up compared to Burb and Star Defender. He was ahead of them, remember. Kentron gets a 3-second time penalty. Epi rejoins the racetrack now, but Burb's going to get past him along with Star Defender. And Burb's into the wall, and that possibly wing damage there, like minor wing damage. But he's made 2.1 seconds on Epi, along with Star Defender, going for the undercut. I think the best that Williams can do right now would be P5 behind Wild Jager, in front of Wild Jager, sorry. They are catching him quite a bit. Lone Wolf, head of DMS Racing. Still seeing the top 3 out here on track on these wet tyres that they started with. They're reluctant to dive into the pits, but I say that Sick Pig does come into the pits. He can get a very good outlap here. Might be able to close up towards his teammate. I think Outlaw's the one that's made the mistake here. He should have dived in a bit earlier to get these inters, to try and gain some time on the top 2. Magmatic Rave under massive pressure from these guys on the inters already. It was 7 seconds behind about 2 laps ago. Here comes Wild Jager into turn 1 as well, out of the pits. Burb gets the job done. I think Star Defender might get the job done as well. Ooh, that was very close. Seeing a bit of penalties here. 3 seconds for Burb, Wild Jager, Epi, DMS Racing, Kentrum. Jager's gone wide. Burb's going to sneak up the inside and say thank you very much. I'll take that. P5 from a P15 qualifying. Smashing it at the moment. Tony still out on track. Tino Tiberian, he had enough of these wet tyres. So is Outlaw, he's in. I hope you see dry tyres right at the last like 5 laps. Surprised you ain't seen the safety car there, it's fair play. Just Picky did retire in the pits as Epi gets past Magmatic Grave, who stood out there. Oh, come on guys. Epi and Lone Wolf. A bit too impatient there. Yellow flag, what's happened? Someone's had a moment out of the pit lane, and that possibly is Outlaw. Burb, the new fastest lap. Smashed by Jace Barkley, does a 1:30.4. And he's flying on these inters. Look at him, he's right behind Magmatic Grave. Looking for a way by. Should be an easy move with the better tyres into this corner here, and he can go hunting after Lone Wolf and Epi. Magmatic Grave still stuck though. Fair play to him. Gap at the front is coming down massively. That's a second in that straight alone from Tino Tiberian, who just drained his battery. Tony surely got a box. Yes, he does. He's currently lost 1.5 seconds in that one sector alone. More than that, 2 seconds nearly. Where will Tony rejoin? Should be in the lead, just about ahead of Tino Tiberian, who's coming down the main straight now. There's Tony exiting into turn 1. Tino's going to have the better tyres and more comfortable. But I think he's going to be just a bit too far back. I'm trying to pick that up to see if Tino caught up with him. But I think Tony should just be alright. Star defender not able to stick with his teammate, has dropped off just over 2 seconds away from his teammate, while Jager second behind Berg. Magmatic Wave is finally coming to the pits. IRS LB44 still sticking it out there on the hards. Kenshin's had enough, he's into the pits. I'm really surprised you haven't seen a safety car yet. Slick Pig lost a massive amount of time. 5.8 seconds behind his teammate now. Top 2, 1.4 seconds separates them. In the first stint on the wet tyres, Tony was more comfortable. Would that be the same here with his intermediates? Tino Tiberian, the new fastest lap, a 129.3. Outlaw currently sitting in the podium position. If he can stay 3 seconds behind Sick Pig. How's Burb getting on? Is he catching up with Outlaw? Losing a couple of attempts down the straight. About through these corners, can he find some time? Just about match him. Got yellow flag. What's going on there? That is Star Defender off the track. I'm not sure what's happened to him there. Okay, he's dropped down to P10 now behind this little battle. Epi, Lone Wolf and Jace Parker. IRS LB44 picking up a 10 second speed in the pit lane penalty. He definitely needs a safety car now. What he needs is it right now. Everyone's driving well though. There's only been a few mistakes. Epi's been looking in his rear view mirrors for the last 13 laps I think. Because he's been defending from about 5-6 different drivers. As Tino says, another fastest lap. He's still trying to catch up with Tony. They're gapping Sick Pig and Outlaw. Outlaw has closed off a couple attempts on the Sick Pig. Burb setting a new fastest lap. Jaeger refusing to be detached from Burb here. Star defenders into the pits. Hopefully he doesn't retire because 15 positions get you points. Race wins 30 points. P2 26. P3 24. I think P10 is like 12 points, possibly 10 points, 12 points. So that'd be not bad. As DMS Racing just gets past Star Defender. While Jager picking up another time penalty, that's going to make it 6 seconds for him. But luckily, he's got no one around him to affect his position change at the moment. Outlaw's made a mistake somewhere because he's dropped back from Sick Pig. Lost about half a second on that lap alone. I think Sick Pig is using that battery a bit more than Outlaw. Tino's made a mistake somewhere as well. Tony's now 2.7 seconds. They're starting to push away again. We've got a yellow flag. That's Star Defender out of the race. And is that full course safety car? It's a VSC, just seen it on the side. Unfortunately for IRS LB44 and Kentron, that is not a safety car, which is actually so bad for them. They're getting caught by the race leaders. I'm pretty sure it's going to be over very quick as well. Drive-through penalty for DMS Racing and IRS LB44. And IRS LB44's day is just getting worse and worse and worse. This race, not going to plan. Don't blame him though. There's not had much practice, so this is not really that real IRS LB44 we're used to seeing. As he's getting blue flag right now. I might see him to retiring from the race, to be honest. Sick Pig really dropping off the top two. IRS LB44 has indeed retired from the session. That's 3 drivers now out. As the cars in a rejoin, just in the perfect position between Barjager and Epi, who's still defending from Lone Wolf and Jays Parker. Magmatic Rave currently in P10. I think he's had 2 pit stops. No, he's had 1. He just boxed really late. 16 laps gone by here. Tino Tiberian now picking up a 3-second time penalty, which is surely the end of his battle for P1, unless Tony makes some sort of mistake somewhere. Tino did catch up under the virtual safety car, back to 1.3 seconds, 1.4, but has now just cost himself the chance of a race win at the moment by getting that 3 seconds. I think at the moment, as it stands, Burb is just going to keep leading this championship ahead of Tony, I think by 1 or 2 points. Yeager's doing very well this race as well, currently P6. Has got 6 seconds, but for the first race of his season, after missing the first 2 rounds due to injuries, he's doing well here, sticking to Burb. He's literally stopped behind Burb for about a second, 1.2 seconds for the last 5-6 laps, maybe more. But that's a good showing for the rest of the season if Burb's won the first 2 races of this championship. So Epi's still defending from Lone Wolf and Chase Parker, just unable to get by. Bit of a mistake there though from Epi, which is going to put him under pressure. But he's got enough battery to defend, I think. Lone Wolf trying to drain that whole battery to get by. It's not going to be close enough. Oh, it's raining again. Don't turn the game back onto wet tyres. I was hoping we were going to see dries, but the clouds are back out. As Jays Parker has a look at Lone Wolf. Lone Wolf has not gave him the room though, and just cut him off. And that is wing damage for Lone Wolf. And Jays Parker probably going to dive into the pits to get that change now. And they're fighting, still fighting into this pits here. That's a bit of a strange report going on there. This race is very detached now, everyone's quite spread out. Even the leader is now 2.6 seconds. Outlaw is closing up to the back of Sick Pig here. He's doing very well. Effie's finally got no drivers behind him. He can relax and just focus on everything in front of him instead of everything behind him. P7 onto points for Ferrari. Just gonna get the points scoring up again, so everyone watching and everyone racing knows how we do it this season. So P1 is 30 points, P2 26 points, P3 24 points, P4 22 points, P5 20 points, P6 18 points, P7 16 points, P8 14, P9 12 points, P10 for Magmatic Rave would be 10 points right now. DMS Racing would be 8 points, P12 6 points, P13 4 points, P14 2 points, and then down in P15 would have been 1 point. But we'll see him drivers into the pits onto a fresh set of rubber. Have I just seen Epi onto a set of mediums? Am I seeing things? Has he selected the wrong tyre? But he's just lit those rear tyres up on the exit of the pits there. As it's starting to rain, I was giving credit to Epi there for a pretty decent race. I just jinxed it all by he guiding into the pits onto a fresh set of medium tyres as the rain starts coming down. As he lights up the rear tyres again, runs into the wall, and he's going to be overtaken by Jace Parker any second now. Tony with the new fastest lap on those inters. Here comes Jace Parker, trying to get past the Ferrari driver who's draining his battery. Jace Parker having none of it. He's going to go around the outside. This would be a great move. Oh no, Effie's backed out. Effie's not doing that on these mediums. Runs wide again, and that's a very poor decision from Epi. Unless he made a mistake by selecting mediums by accident and not changing it back to inters, then fair enough. But here comes Lone Wolf for a move as well. Magmatic Rave not too far behind. Burb 1.5 seconds behind Outlaw, who's made a mistake and is now, what's happened here? The yellow flag. Kentrum has had a moment somewhere. Epi's got a 10 seconds speeding the pit lane penalty. Onto the intermediates, and he will be P10. Yeah, so Outlaw's currently lost out on a podium here at the moment. 3.7 seconds behind Sick Pig. And now under pressure from Burb, who has finally dropped Jaeger. And this race is very spread out. Lone Wolf now picking up a 3-second time penalty to make it 6 seconds. Now all over the back of Outlaw. Looks to be struggling. Position changes. Outlaw's up 4 position. Burb's up 9. Jace Parker with a new fastest lap. Outlaw now 4.7 seconds behind Sick Pig. What's going on? The rain stops and there's dry tyres again, I swear. Epi's retired from the session in the pits. DRS now enabled. And I'm just so surprised about this rain and this dryness of the track. It was raining a minute ago. Epi couldn't use the medium tyres and it stopped. Now everyone's back into the pits for a brand new set of mediums. Oh, I think 6P just had a massive moment there, coming out of the pits as well. Can Outlaw somehow catch up to Stick Pig? No, he can't, because he's just made a massive mistake. And he's going to be under pressure from Burb. Yellow flag. I think Kentram's had a mistake coming out of the pits as well. I think everyone's just banging on that throttle as soon as they come out of the pits and then making mistakes. Top two should be fine here. They should be able to dive into the pits. I have no worries about anyone behind on those now medium tyres. DRS is now enabled though, and we're on board with Burb, who's the first driver to use it in this 22 lap race. And Outlaw has just crashed straight into the wall and has dropped all the way down to P6. Probably going to be more. If he can get back going, he might be alright. But he's unable to do so. Burb now moves up to P4. He's up 10 positions. Having a great race. And he's going to keep the championship lead. Jace Parker getting a 3-second time penalty. Outlaw's retired from the session. That's going to be a safety car. And that changes everything. Oh, who's a lap behind though? Kentram's a lap behind, I think. Here he is. DMS Racing was as well. Kentram gets a drive-through penalty as well, speeding under the safety car. Everyone's losing their concentration here. Tino's going to close up to the back of Tony and have a chance at DRS. Outlaw, who was having probably the best race with Burb, crashed out. As soon as he gets onto the medium tyre, sorry, Outlaw crashes. Convenient. I wonder if anyone dives into the pits for softs now. Tony, Tino, what do they do? They go into softs? Should I be quicker? One of the Alpines might risk it, surely, going into softs. They're going to have 5 laps on the softs only. No. They decide to stay out. DMS Racing, unfortunately, can't unlap himself either. What does Burb and Jaeger do? Do they opt for the softs? If I was someone like Jace Parker, I'd go for the softs. In P6, Lone Wolf, Magmatic Rave, might as well go for softs and try something at the back. Try to get yourself into the top 5 to send it. I feel sorry for Tony though. Oh, I don't actually. He's the only driver without a penalty, so. But he was leading the race. Out of DRS for 23 laps. That's all going to come to an end. He's going to be under massive pressure from Tino Tavera at the start. Just realised Tino's in the hards as well. Kentram's on the softs, but he's a lap down, so he's not going to be able to do anything. The only thing he's going to be able to do is try and make a move on DMS Racing, who's also a lap down and can't unlap himself. Five drivers out of this session. 10 left, all in very good point scoring positions. Kentram's still getting 10 points down there in P10. and DMS Racing still a lap behind, will still be getting 12 points, so they can keep it on track and hope someone else DNFs in front of them. They'll still be scoring very good points for their teams. Driver of the day at the moment, it's got to be Tony or Ferb. Ferb's come from P14 up to P4, and that was mostly in the wet. Tony's led the race, I think from lap 2 or 3, all the way up to lap 25 now. I'm not really being pressured by Tino that much. So no one did go for the softs then. Only Kentron, but I'm surprised no one else below the top 5 went into soft tyres. Safety car will be in at the end of lap 25 here with Tony, and we'll be back racing for a 4-lap shootout on these medium tyres. Right, hopefully we don't stay out another lap, because magmatic waves of, yeah we will, they've ripped too far back in there. So the cars aren't going to come in this lap, so another lap of this slow ass driving. Tino's tyres are going to be so cold on those hards. He's going to be struggling with temperature at the start here. What's happening in the background? People overtaking each other. Lone Wolf trying to get past Chase Parker for some reason. Not sure what's happened there. But Lone Wolf has got past Chase Parker for some reason and gives him back the position. Wing damage on the back of Lone Wolf's car might suggest that there's been some sort of contact, but I'm not sure why these drivers are still doing this. No point losing your heads now with 3.5 laps to go. You've done so much of this race so far. There is no point losing your heads right now. Safety car in this lap, here we go. It's going to be an interesting one here. Chase Parker getting a 10-second time penalty for ignoring yellow flags. So these two are still going on. Not sure what's happened. We'll get an incident report after the race, but let's see if Tony can defend this one from Tino Tiberian and the chasing pack behind. Only driver without a time penalty. Absolutely catches them all sleeping there. Tino Tiberian's been caught lacking. It's a 1.4 second gap coming down the main straight from Tony. Sick Pig as well, miles off it. Here comes Burb trying to get himself back onto the podium. Currently a contender for driver of the day. Right behind the back of Sick Pig. They've been under massive amounts of pressure. The IRS zone's coming up on the next lap. He's in a good position so far. Who's this? Is this DMS Racing? It is DMS Racing. DMS Racing. A lap down. Getting overtaken by the lap cars. Where's Kentron? Oh, Benjamin's got a driver, forgot about that. There's a yellow flag for some reason still. Tony trying to put away from Tino Tiberian, who's absolutely draining that battery. Sick Pig under pressure from Burb. Chase Parker possibly getting that 10 seconds removed at the end of the race. He's also there. He could possibly get a podium out of this if he somehow gets past Jaeger and Sick Pig and Burb come together. New fastest lap from Tino. DRS now enabled. Won't be for the first sector though. Tino's made a mistake on those hard tyres. If I was Tino, I'd now back off and help his teammate Sick Pig with the DRS just to get a double Alpine podium. Because I don't think he's going to be catching Tony now. Tony's on those mediums, he's absolutely flying. Burb looking for a way by. Sick Pig has just got inside the DRS there of his teammate. Here comes Burb though, looking for a way past. Down the inside of Sick Pig. Sick Pig has a bit of a moment as well with the rear tyres. He's now going to be under pressure from the people behind, like Chase Parker, who sends it past Wild Jaeger up into P5, which still might be a P5 because he might have that 10 seconds removed. At the end of the session, Tony with the new fastest lap. I was trying to get out penalties there, where's he gone? There it is. Yep, Tony with the new fastest lap. Only driver not to get a time penalty. Burb is still pushing on here for a P2. Trying to get up to the back of Tino. He's on those hard tyres. Runs a bit wide. Can Burb get a better exit? It's going to be close. I think Tino might just have enough in it to defend. But here comes Tony. One last time down this long straight. Burb's not able to get the DRS. That's going to be P3 for him unless Tino makes a mistake in his final sector. Tony's going to close the gap on Burb though in the Drivers' Championship. He's currently sitting P2 in the standings, 12 points behind the Burb. He will make up 6 points on Burb today to close that gap to 6 points in the championship. But here comes Tony to win round 3 in Australia with an absolute dominant performance in the Aston Martin. Tino's going to get P2 just ahead of Burb, who comes from P14 on the grid to a podium there. Sick Pig gets P4. Chase Parker moves down to P8 after that 10-second time penalty that might be removed. We'll find out about that. While Jaeger gets a P5 at the moment, ahead of Magmatic Rave, who gets a P6 ahead of Lone Wolf. Great finish there for Magmatic Rave. He gets to score any points in the championship, but congratulations to Tony then for taking victory and halving the points deficit to Burb in the championship standings. Oh, I just went past what that was. Forgot to look at them. There's your confirmation. Every driver who finished the race getting a time penalty. Chase Parker with that 10 seconds. Good day out for Alpine in the constructors. 2nd and 4th for them. Mercedes, not too bad as well. Good race from Tier 2 there though. A very good job. Wet weather at the start. Didn't see any safety cars until the dry tyres come out, so that was a surprise. We're going to move on to round 4 next week, which I forgot. Let me just get the Tier 2 calendar up. It's going to be Spa, and it's going to be a sprint race. First sprint race of the season in Belgium. So make sure you come tune into that one. Tier 1, sorry, will be on Tuesday, and it's going to be the Australian Grand Prix. Hopefully we don't see any wet weather there. But hope you've enjoyed this one. Driver of the day, I'm going to give it to, I don't know, Burb. I think I'll give it to Burb just from where the position he started. I know Tony won the race, he was comfortable out front, but he didn't get a penalty. But Burb from P14 to a podium, that's a well-deserved driver of the day in my opinion. So yeah, congratulations to him on that award. We'll see you on Tuesday for probably just Picky and possibly Burb commentating Tier 1. See you later.